Hi there, it's Katie from Created by Katie, and I'm here with my second video in the 2012 Fall and Halloween series videos here on my blog and my YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we are going to be making a very simple Halloween treat baggie using Stampin' Up's Petal cone die and our Big Shot. This is a very simple treat bag to make, so if you need something for passing out at your door on Halloween, or for your kids to take to school, or for someone special, this is a very simple little treat holder, and this is what we're going to be doing here. So let's get started. Okay, I've gathered up all of my supplies that we are going to need for our project today, and I have a complete supply list in this blog post, and if you're watching this on YouTube, in the bottom of the description there's a link to the blog post that will tell you everything that we are using today. Alright, the first step is going to be cutting out our main shape using the Petal cone die, and hopefully you can see this here. There is a shape that kind of looks like a heart. There's a little half scallop circle, and there's a banner here. And when we're using the Big's dies and the Big Shot, we're going to have one of our cutting plates down below, and then we're going to lay down our Big's dies. And I have 2 sheets of orange cardstock, and I've cut them. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I've cut it in half. And you need 2 of the petal cones to make the project that we're making today. So I'm just going to lay both sheets there, and it's going to cut through there perfectly. And then I put the other cutting mat on top and run it through my Big Shot. Get it out to the other end, the negative space should just pop right off. There I have my 2 sections for the cone. I've got 2 half scallop circles, and then I've got the banners. Now I'm not going to be using either of these, and I still cut it out, got them all done. I'm just going to save these, and that's something you can probably think of when you're using this, is save all the extras. You never know when you're going to need these for another project. So I'm just going to stick those in my little scrap basket, and I might use them later. Alright, I needed 4 of the little half scallop circles that were on the die, and I wanted them in black so that they would kind of be a different color. This would be the perfect time to dig in your scrap basket and see if you had some from die cutting this in a black. Or what I did was just cut some scraps of black cardstock smaller and ran them through just so that they die cut out the scallop circles. Okay, now I want some pattern paper that I want to add to the front of my little package there. And so I've got my black half circle, and I just am using one of the Spellbinder's Nestability circle dies. And I'm just kind of laying it on there to kind of see how big I'm going to want it. And I'm just going to run this through the Big Shot. And I'm actually going to need 2 of these because I'm going to cut them in half and use them to make 4. So I've got my 2 circles there, and I'm just going to cut them in half. And I used my paper trimmer, I cut them in half, and now I have 4 half circles that will go here on my scalloped circle. Okay, now I'm ready to assemble my cone, and this would probably be the time, if you were wanting to decorate the front parts of the cone, this would be the time to do it. Before you get everything assembled together. If you were wanting to stamp a decoration on there or something, this would be the time to do it. Alright, I'm just going to use some regular sticky tape from American Crafts. And when I put it on there, trying to be careful to make sure that I get it as close to that edge as I can so that it will stick. Alright, sorry about that, the clock was going off. But I've got it about as close to there as I can, and I'm going to peel that off. And for this one, I can lay it down flat and line it up and get it on there. Now you kind of see where some of the cracks there are dirty. That is just from the dye. I probably just need to clean that dye out. Otherwise, it should be clean and pretty like this side. That on there and line it up. And that is why you're going to want to make sure that it's as close to that edge as possible. If you were to put it further down on the flap, then you're going to have a gap there, and we don't want to have a gap. Alright, now it's time to decorate the flaps. And I've got my pieces here, and I'm just going to use my ATG gun here. And I'm going to layer that underneath. And then add the pattern paper part. So it has the orange as a bit of a layer and then the black scallop as well. So let's do the rest. Okay, I've got all of my flaps here glued together, and as you'll notice, it's gonna hit there. So I'm gonna just take my tape gun and adhere this side, and then adhere the opposite side, like so. Then I'm going to take my scissors and just trim off that little bit. And nobody is ever going to see that once we get the other flaps down, so it's not going to matter. Just gotta get it lined up. Alright, now these two flaps will lay down nicely. And once you start decorating and carrying the bag around, you're not even going to notice that those scallops are not there. There we go. We have all four sides with our scallops decorated. Alright, I went ahead and I pre-cut our circles here for the front image, and I've just got two regular circle image and then an orange scallop image, and I'm going to stick them all together and put them on the front of our petal cone. But I want to just stamp this circle here, and I'm just using one of the images from Monster Munchies from Stampin' Up, using the Bon Appetit circle image. I'm just going to ink it up here and try to get it as center as I can on the circle. There we go. And then I'm just going to use my ATG gun and stick them all together. There we go. Now you could color him in if you wanted to. I am just going to use some of this green Lucky Limeade Everyday Enchantment Organdy ribbon from Stampin' Up. Okay, I've got my little bow here. I'm just going to stick it on using a little teeny tiny glue dot. There we go. And now it's ready to be adhered to the front of our treat cone. There we go. Now we are almost ready. The next step is going to be creating a handle. Alright, for our handle I've just got this long scallop circle border die, and I've got a strip of black cardstock. And I'm going to run it through the big shots. Now it doesn't cover the whole thing here, but we don't need the whole thing, so we'll be okay. There we go. And I'm just gonna trim it off right at the ends here. And then poke out all the little holes. Okay, I've got all my holes poked out here. And I want to adhere it here using one of these glittered black brads. And if you want to, you could just poke it through there. I'm going to use my crocodile and punch a hole. Now it's a little bit smaller than the width of the brad, which is good because that's going to help hold it on. And hold it tightly. Probably want it to go. There we go. And there we go. We have our little cone die. Alright, so we have our little cone made, and I've just wrapped some candy corn in a little cellophane bag, tied a ribbon on it, and there we go. We have our cute little petal cone treat container. I've also made this version of the petal cone treat container just using just one version of the die cut out, and I've decorated the bottom the same, added a little sentiment there, and then you can just slip in a small little candy bar. It's a smaller version. It doesn't take up quite as much room as the larger one, and it easily fits a fun little candy bar. Alright, thanks for watching today's video.